So lovely to hear. This is just surreal. Let's just get on with it. Right, I'm going to go straight to you, Lawrence, being our fantastic winner. I mean,
I'm here too.
How important is it, do you think, for certainly representing Scotland to have a Scottish winner?
Well, I mean, it's a huge part of it's what I would say is a cultural reset. I just can't believe that. Scotland's very overlooked a lot of the time for a lot of things, not just drag. So I'm very proud that we have the crown now. Mary Queen of Scots. It's now Lawrence Queen of Scots. So it's very important because it means that now it's kind of put Scottish drag on the map.
And I also have to say, I mean, I'm not sure whether everyone listening to this has seen it, but there was a wonderful video that was uploaded by the BBC Three team last week of all of you watching the finale together, the final four. I mean, what was that like to be in that room? You can really feel the nervous energy.
Well, it was nervous energy, but it was like all love as well. It was all we were all just very excited. It was all that kind of competition side of things that was out the window. We were all aware that it was in the can. We were just ready to watch it, and I didn't think it was going to win. I was just very excited to watch it as a viewer. So, watching it and winning because you dream of winning. So that's just a dream come true. So I was very shocked and very surprised, but here we are.
Wonderful. I think just for a little bit of housekeeping, just to go and check if anyone else, just make sure that they mute themselves if they're thinking of not answering a question, just to stop there being a bit of little mini feedback.
It sounded like Alien versus Predator was somewhere up in your bedroom.
I know what was going on.
Clickety click, clackety clack.
I was thinking, like, who's taking the opportunity of opening a very heavy water bottle there? I was thinking to myself, like, my word. Hey, I have to ask you about this because it got picked apart by so many people during the final, and it was about your story about your dad being in Wham. Why did you leave that for the final before telling everyone? I mean, if I were you, if I was a contestant, I would be thinking about telling other people about that earlier.
I'm not a show off like that, you know what I mean? I'm a humble girl from humble beginnings, darling.
Lies!
You know what I mean? My dad needs to be in Wham. I don't just drop that in, the first episode for everyone to think, that I'm some kind of thing. I mean, I'm just going to do what I do and save it to the end and keep you all surprised and on your toes.
Well, you definitely did that. Definitely. I mean, you also provided, I think, one of the sort of the quotes for the season. The cheek, the nerve, the audacity, or the gumption. I mean, did you think that was going to be such a picked up quote and have other people mention that to you all the time now?
They do all the time now, but at the time I didn't at all because I mean, this is just. Stuff that comes out of my mouth 24/7, crunchy, munchy, thirsty Kirsty. It's the truth, Ruth. Got to muchacha. Cheers, my dears. Cheers, big ears. It all just, just comes from somewhere. I don't know. I don't think it's going to really get all that kind of reaction, but I'm absolutely over the moon that it did because, I mean, I'm seeing it everywhere. I'm seeing it on Redbubble. I'm seeing it on people's phone cases. I'm seeing it on mugs. I've got people saying it to me in the street. I mean, I can't complain.
I've got a little bit of late breaking news. We are also joined by Ginny Lemon. Hello, Ginny.
Oh, Ginny Lemon!
Is she there?
Oh,
well, she's there. We'll find out whether she's there. Just in a moment.
Is she there?
I love this light chaos. It really brings a bit of nervous energy to the whole thing, and I think it's great. Bimini.
Hi, babes.
I have to say, I mean, I think you provided such a real appeal just to the I just think your story was so fascinating just by the fact that you upped your game so much more in the latter half of the competition.
Yes.
I mean, was that sort of a thing that you were really actively aware when everything was suspended due to the pandemic? You were thinking you really have to up your game, or was it just something that came naturally about?
I don't know. I think, do you know what it was? I think being in the lip sync the first episode just threw me off the game. And I think I was kind of, that whole experience of the first 4 episodes, I felt like I wasn't really, I hadn't arrived. I wasn't really like there. So having that break, it was like a time to reflect and get myself grounded and kind of get myself in a better headspace to go back and compete. And like people say, like I stepped up my runways and whatever, but I didn't change a single thing. It just so happened that my runways were rubbish in the early part, obviously.
I also have to say that, I mean, we'll probably bring in Ginny for this as well. If Ginny can hear or is speaking, by all means, Ginny, if you're here, please do speak. That I think it was such important TV, I think, for when it brings up issues and then people see themselves being reflected on TV and they see themselves being represented. And just having... Is somebody making breakfast whilst I say this? I just love it. I just have to say that having about what it is to be non-binary discussed on TV had such a profound impact on so many people. And I've been reading articles by people who are saying that gave them the confidence to talk to other people about it, to their family. I mean, what do you think the impact of having what it is like to be non-binary has been on TV? And why do you think TV is an important space to have these forms of discussion?
Is that for me or Ginny? Is Ginny here?
If Ginny's there, by all means, Ginny, please jump in. But yes, to you, Bim, as well, please.
I think it was just like, I mean, we never went in there with that intention to have a conversation like that. It happened very naturally, and we both kind of, we knew about how we felt towards our gender identity, and we'd had kind of brief discussions before, but like having that moment where it was like really opening up about it and delving quite deep. And I think, like, for me, when I first moved to London, I really realised kind of the idea of gender was almost non-existent in the scenes that I was in, and like that, it really wasn't an issue. Like these discussions weren't being had, and I think they're really important to be had now because it gets to a wider audience for sure, and people can relate to it. Maybe they've not heard of those terms, and non-binary wasn't a term that I had heard so much until the last few years. So I think it was just something that I felt resonated with me. And then having that conversation with another person that also experiences those feelings about gender and how they've felt growing up and how they've always felt kind of isolated from it. You don't have to be non-binary to relate to what we were talking about, the feelings of not fitting in or the feelings of feeling different, or kind of, I think that's why people resonated with it. And also it wasn't like it wasn't a debate about it. Like, we're not debating our existence. We're telling you this is how we feel.
Just an update, by the way, because Ginny hasn't said. So Ginny hasn't joined yet, but will be joining soon. So I love this suspense of whether Ginny will be appearing or not. It just gives that extra element of excitement.
She loves to make a scene, that one.
The drama and conflama, mama.
Tia, one thing that came up from the final that I can't stop thinking about was you portraying Rue on the finale on the runway. Just with like from the opening titles. I mean, because I remember that was it from episode 5. Rue said, if you had my team of 50, do you know what you'd look like? You'd look like me. I mean, A, did you think people would pick up on it? And B, how did you manage to turn it around so quickly?
Well, I think we all learned that I've got the sewing skills to just really crack something like that out at the last minute. Well, you know, I thought, since she made that comment, I'd come back and portray her as best as I could. Did I look like a pound shop version of RuPaul? Yes. Does that make sense for my journey on the season? Absolutely.
I mean, I just sort of found it so interesting because, like, in one of the comments, you can hear Michelle Visage say, quote, she is still trying to work out who she is as a queen. I mean, do you think that is a fair assessment? Because to me, I think you know who you are, what you're like, and what you're trying to do.
Yeah, I think Michelle's kind of on the nose with that, because I think sometimes you can truly know who you are. Like, I feel very comfortable and confident with who I am on the inside. But we're not the best at portraying that on the outside all the time. You know, I like the sort of idea of dressing as an ice cream cone, but thanks to working with all of these fabulous people, I've now got better ideas about how to convey that so I don't look like I'm going to a Halloween party age 7.
Oh, I love you so much. Ellie, I mean, there's many things to say with you. I mean, I think the one thing that I just thought about you throughout the entire series was just how astoundingly talented you are.
Oh my goodness!
Such a young age. I also have to say, like, because you portrayed Vicky Pollard on Snatch Game, and we are going to get onto Snatch Game in a second. But did Matt Lucas say anything about you portraying?
He has messaged. I mean, I there was like a Twitter thing that was posted, and he reshared the Twitter thing that someone had put up, and that was lovely. Like, I've just like looked up to. I mean, not looked up to, but like more like I loved Little Britain growing up, and it was such a massive part of like my upbringing as a family, because like we would always watch it together. Same with like Simpsons and like or what's other TV show we'd watch? Simpsons and like Deal or No Deal, Come Dine With Me, stuff like that. We'd watch it, and there would also be like Little Britain involved in that. So it was always like such a memory from childhood. So getting to portray that, and then for them to then notice years later is like a huge like achievement for me. I love that.
This is a question where I'm going to bring in Lawrence as well. I mean, everyone I know from watching this series, it's such a unique thing in reality TV, isn't it? By the fact that there was such a big break in the middle. Of course, everyone's lives have been affected by the pandemic. But I sort of sensed that with you, Ellie, and also with Lawrence, it was particularly hard because there was no opportunity to go back on stage, to go back and be performing within that time, whilst at least in London you could try a little bit, even though it wouldn't be exactly what you would think it would be.
Yeah.
Just talk. I mean, did you get nervous coming back into the competition, thinking that you were just going to be completely out of practice?
I mean, nervous going back into it. I wasn't necessarily nervous to go back. It was more just like, how is it going to be in heels for the amount of time that we usually are, as well as corsets and pads, because when you're filming a online performance, you're only in it for like 3 hours tops, and that's it. But that's the thing with England. The difference between England and Scotland is like, yeah, there are more opportunities in England and not as much in Glasgow, and I feel, or in Scotland. And I feel like if there were more, we would have been doing at least something during this pandemic and the break. We would have been doing something instead of doing absolutely nothing, which is just like, it's just crap. We're just sitting in our flat doing nothing. I mean, I was in the drive-through flipping burgers. That's about it.
Like, I literally agree with Ellie. Like, I think something that really annoyed me and shocked me at the time was we were the only country in the world to have an indoor music ban for when clubs reopened, bars reopened. So they weren't allowed to have any music playing. And what is a drag queen without music? So it was just, there was no chance for, even burlesque entertainers or magicians or even anyone like that, or, kings or queens. There was no opportunities. And what I was really nervous about was, because I love making people laugh and telling jokes, that is a social skill. That is, it's something you need people around to do. Because we'd literally done the opposite of that and left, everyone behind, and you'd just been talking to yourself for 7 months. I genuinely didn't know if I was going to be funny. You almost forgot how to act in social settings as well. Like, I remember the first episode back for UK Hun, we were talking about dance moves that we could do, and I was talking about doing a jump split, which I do in my act, and I did the jump split and my trousers split, right? But I totally forgot. I just like stood there with my legs open with this big split there, because I totally forgot what you were meant to do in a social situation like that. Like, it was so weird. So, like, Bimini Taste and Nahora were like, what is going on? Like, what is going on with this queen? But it was really rough. So I think what I suffered from going back was a little lack of confidence. So that self-doubt was already there, but, fresh out the gate.
Yeah. Joe Black's here. Hello, Joe.
Hello.
I mean, you, for me, some of your looks, well, your looks were just astounding during this. I mean, I particularly liked your sort of Blue Peter headgear that you were wearing when you returned. Were you worried that you were going to hit the top of the door like Cherry Valentine did during the first episode?
I mean, that they made me look ever so graceful. They cut out the moment that I just full on to get through the door. Though, I thought my height was going to be a problem. I think Ellie Diamond was somehow taller than me, even with a full-on ship on my head. So I think the top of Ellie's hair kind of brushed the top of the main stage. But yeah, I did have to duck to go back in.
I mean, I was sort of thinking right back to when you were on during the first week, and I remember all the judges saying that your David Bowie impersonation was not distinctively David Bowie, and me thinking at home, like, you can't get any more David Bowie. This is really distinctively David Bowie. I mean,
Taste had that lovely mullet on for the finale, and they said it was very David Bowie. So,
Hey, excuse me, darling.
it was very David Bowie.
Wait, the blue mullet.
There was one. Was it the last one? They said, "Oh, very David Bowie taste."
Oh, the pink one. The pink one. Oh, yeah. I mean, I just wanted to get my punk vibes on that. You know what I mean? It was pink and red and black, and I thought, let's get, a little bit scary up in this place.
I'll borrow that next time.
Oh, whenever you're ready, girl. Whenever you're ready. We'll swap. You can have the mullet, and I'll have the cat.
Yeah, brilliant.
I really have to ask a question to Ahura. I mean, firstly, for me, I just really want to have your COVID-19 outfit. Just the fact that it felt like such a catwalk look, and it's made me have that sort of real interest in terms of propelling my shoulders forward at any opportunity if I'm wearing an outfit. I just found it astounding. I mean, are we going to see it on a catwalk someday? I mean, it had such a massive reaction.
I mean, yeah. I mean, even making it, I was never planning on it being such a have such an impact or such a movement on when it comes to the stage. So, like, I remember being in the mirror and, like, I'd done one arm, and RuPaul and Raven were still doing their walkthroughs. And I was just, like, posing with the shoulder, thinking, how am I going to make this work? Like, what am I going to do next? And then I just kind of was like, feeling my fantasy, and just, like, kind of went in the mirror and just did the, like, the kind of Lady Gaga, like, pose where you arch your back, you put your elbows in front of yourself, you kind of go a bit like, ghoul-esque. And I was like, bam, just did it really quick. And I went, oh, this gives great movement. And I just did it. So then from then, everyone's just got this Jurassic Park fantasy with me. So yeah, I'm gonna take it on tour, but make it about 12 times bigger, and just go crazy with it. That's my plan. So we're gonna
if it's 12 times bigger, if it's 12 times bigger, it's gonna block your face. I mean,
that's what I mean. I'm gonna have some dancers come out, string them to my arms, tie me around the waist. I'm gonna start flying across the stage. Who knows, girl?
Astonishing. I also have to say, and apologies that this is quite a deep question, but like, early on in the season, you sort of said that you didn't have a drag family because of how other drag queens perceived you, and that you sort of felt like an outsider. Do you think that now being, as in Drag Race UK and seeing the huge community that has sort of come up throughout it, and the support that you've had, do you feel much more part of a drag family now?
I think what I realised was that it was me who was stopping myself from allowing people to come into my life as a family. I just had such a hard face and such a front that I felt like anyone coming into my space was going to try and take it away from me because of previous experience. So having to be forced into an environment where you just have to let people in and you have to be around other people just enabled me to kind of break those walls and understand that, oh, okay, these people aren't actually against me. Like, every week, like, I think I said it in a few interviews, like, when we have to wait before we go out on the runway, Lawrence and Ellie, and sometimes Bimini as well, like, always made a big thing of coming up to me, and before we, like, walked out, was like, oh, Hora, you look fucking great. And I would be like, oh, thank you. And then they just, like, look at each other really confused. And I'm thinking, what's their problem? But I didn't realise, because I was still in my own head, I wasn't even processing it to give them a compliment back. And that's when I was like, oh, okay, I need to be a bit more self-aware and understand that I'm so in my own mind space. So yeah, I feel so much better now. Like, and I know now, no matter what, whether I make new family or whatever, I will always have my Drag Race family and my Drag Race sisters.
I love Ahura that we're not allowed to swear on this, but because I'm Scottish, you were just like, we need to do that. That's genuine Lawrence James.
Oh my god, I didn't even realise I did that. I'm so sorry.
No problem. I was literally about to butt in and say apologies for the swear word there. But yeah, no, but that's
They warned you.
Very me.
specifically.
Very
Oh my god, I
me.
fully didn't even realise that she swore. That's so funny.
it's just oh, I'm
I mean, if we're gonna
absolutely
be realistic, it wasn't a swear word, it was Scottish for fucking.
okay,
And
right, let's move on from that. Let's just to be on the safe side.
You specifically were warned,
Yes,
Ahura.
I know. I specifically called you out for that.
Right, I'll go back on mute. Bye, everyone.
Okay, bye. No. You know what? Am I bringing you in for this next question because it is in relation to you and Taste? I mean, I don't know any other reality show in which you have two people living together throughout a show. On how surreal must it have been when one of you were in it and one of you weren't in it? I mean, what was that like?
The thing is, I'm someone like who overthinks, and Taste doesn't really think at all. Like she just doesn't care. Like
Yeah.
she just doesn't
I just live in the moment.
Like she could know she's got something on in an hour, and she'll go, when it comes to that 1 minute to the hour, I'll sort it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just how it is. And so that every week when we were doing Drag Race, I'd be the one sat there like overthinking it, and she'd be like, "Girl, just chill out, like whatever." So like, we both kind of even in the process up to Drag Race, I was rubbing off on Taste in the sense that she was, starting to magnify details like little things like nails and just microscopic things because I overanalyzed little things like that. And then my attitude changed as well, where I became a lot more chill. So like we both helped each other, I think, going back to the race. And then coming out of the competition, we just it was just never a thing. Like I think even when I left the show, I still felt like a winner. So like I never really sat there and was like bitter about Taste. Like the week when I got eliminated, we sat there together, both of us next to each other, watching the episode, and we both had a glass of wine, and it finished, and we both went, "Girl, that was a fuck." Oh no, sorry. I was like.
Apologies for the swear word again.
I was like, girl, that was a really good lip sync. And then after that, we got a bit drunk and had a good night and went to bed. Like that was it. So, it's. I think people just want to put us against each other. Like the show was and stuff. But yeah, it's just cool.
Or put us into each other. Literally, all these fan fictions.
Yeah.
Of course, you're loving it, Lawrence.
Just to emphasise again, apologies for the swear word there. It really has been a real ride. I'm gonna offer this question to everyone, and by all means, all go in. So I'm very intrigued to see how this would be audible. So apologies if anyone's listening via headphones. A audience question says, "I'm so interested to know that when you're walking on the runway and Rue and the other judges make comments and jokes, can you hear them? And if do you try to keep a straight face?"
Oh no! Sometimes you just want to like play back with it, like give them a little emotion, give them a little like, excuse me, lady,
I mean, some of us do.
Each other.
So, what were you saying, Lawrence?
I was like, well, some of us do talk back to them when they say the jokes.
Yeah.
What with my bagpipe reference, shall we say? I always found it very surreal. Like, how are you meant to keep a straight face and like model when there's people basically making fun of your look in a nice way for TV? But it's very, very surreal. Very surreal.
I think as well, like when you walk the runway the first time, it's with music, so you don't hear anything. But when you do it the second time, that's when it's in complete silence.
It's in silence with just them,
so you can hear your heels clacking, like click, click. And you can hear your breath,
breathing,
like
your heart bumping.
Yeah, you can hear the whole thing, and then all you just hear is like the odd comment. But I think for me, episodes 1 to 4, every time I walked that runway, I felt like I went down with my eyes closed and earmuffs in. Like I felt like I just was so.
You go in a bit of a daze sometimes on the runway, didn't you?
Yeah. But I think the second time when we all went back, I was just able to enjoy it, and it was kind of like going back to school and just kind of like being in that routine. You just felt more at home and at ease. Like I felt so much more comfortable even talking to Rue and Michelle. So the second time, the runways was a lot easier, but the first time, God, it was like being blind. Do you know what I mean? You just you couldn't see anything.
I'd just walk down and hope nothing was going to fall out. That was all I was worried about.
I also wondering, like, you know, you're really in a unique circumstance where you're able to watch back your episodes. You hear the criticisms that the judges said about you, you know, when you're not on the stage before coming back for the elimination and the lip sync. Were there any sort of criticisms that you heard from them that you still disagree with about any outfit that you were wearing that you're very defensive about?
Yeah, you might have seen a bit of tape on episode 1, but Amanda Lepore once said to me in New York, "There's nothing more glam than a bit of tape on show." So if Amanda Lepore says that, then that's the only critique I want to hear.
We got this from Petals for Lawrence, and remember, if you use the hashtag #AskTheQueensUK, it comes up and you can ask the questions. Oh, who was that?
Oh my
me,
God!
sorry, that was me.
Ellie Diamond.
Disgusting.
I feel
Sorry, it's the Mango
over
Loco
that.
talking.
Not like this.
Disgusting.
Not on Ask the Queens UK live. The gumption.
So I love that. So I got this thing. This is for Ellie and Lawrence. What are your favourite parts of doing drag? And as a Scottish person myself, what are the best parts of Scottish drag in your opinion?
The best parts of Scottish drag, I'll let Lawrence answer that one because I know she would like to answer that. But then, what was the other part of it? I forgot.
What are the best parts of Scottish drag in your opinion? And what are the favourite parts of doing drag?
Oh, my favourite parts of doing drag is putting the wig on and putting the lashes on because it just makes me feel gorgeous. And I love the lashes that I wear and I love the hair that I create. End of.
Well, for me, I think something that makes Scottish drag really cool is I think, you know, there's so many people who are club kids or makeup artists and you know, queens and kings. There's such a varied, diverse scene up here. But what's really unique about the Scottish scene is we all have a great sense of humour and we can all have a laugh as well. So, you know, no one's in that kind of, oh, well, I don't make jokes. I don't, you know, do that. It's everyone's got that kind of Scottish sensibility of like, hey, all right, hen. And I love that because there's nothing better than, you know, walking into a club, especially if, you know, for so much, you know, LGBT plus youth, there's so many people that it will be their first night out going to this club where they're seeing you or this bar where they're seeing you. So it's really important to be very welcoming and have a laugh and make it very, make them very aware of the fact that they can have a laugh and have fun. It's not all serious like it is out on the, you know, out on the streets in the outside world. It is, it's a proper laugh. And I'm just really glad that Scottish drag's been seen under a microscope as it has been now. So yeah.
This is from Grace McCallum on Twitter, who uses the hashtag #AskTheQueensUK. Says this one's for Tia. Tia, you always talk about how you wanted to order a Wagamama's. So what is your Wagamama's order?
Oh, Grace of Tia Bags fame. My Wagamama's order, if I'm there, then it's a duck John Bory, but you can't actually get that on Deliveroo. So I probably change it to a chicken katsu curry, to be honest. But you got to get the dumplings with a little dip.
No, for me it's the miso soup and pickles on the side. If you don't get the miso soup and pickles, then what's the point? You gotta have the whole thing. Obviously.
Maybe some edamame beans as well, just for a little treat.
Okay, sure.
We had lovely Wagamamas, didn't we, Tia?
Oh, it's gorgeous. That was the best part about getting sent back to the house was ordering the Wagamamas.
This is for all of you, so by all means, feel to throw in. I mean, sort of. It's a two-parter on Snatch Game. Firstly, has anyone who you portrayed on Snatch Game has got in contact or made you aware? We already know about. Just jump in. There we go.
Well, if you've been reading the Poise, you know that me and the Poise have been in contact.
Who were you thinking about? You know, and then
loads of media outlets were talking about it. There has been conversations happening, so I can't really give it away too much, but. Get ready for a Pricey and Bimini collaboration.
Ooh. That's exciting. Oh my goodness. Anyone else?
Well, I'm still waiting for Jane Turner to slide into my DMs, but you never know. One day, if I ever rock over to Australia, we'll make some magic.
We are going to Australia.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know something that's really, really cool? This is very bizarre because my Snatch game obviously did terribly well, but it still makes me very proud because I actually received on the night that I won, I received an email from Miriam, and she said, you know, regardless of whether it was good or not, I just want to thank you so much for doing me, and you know, portraying me on TV. It was so kind of you, and it was a really, really amazing email message to get. So I just that was very nice, especially you because you dread you know that's the pressure with Snatch Game is if you mess it up, you're messing up not only yourself but you know someone else. And we saw it with what was it? Aiden Zane did someone on Snatch Game, Patricia Quinn, and she you know infamously hated it. And was very offended. So none of us want to do that, obviously. So it did make me a little less depressed about bombing Snatch Game. That Miriam was like, "It's all right."
I love that she emailed rather than like she's not in your Insta DMs. You get like an official email from Miriam Margolyes.
Of course, yeah.
Supposed to get a letter.
Yeah, it had like a signature sign off as well at the bottom. It was fab.
Amazing.
Tia, what about Mel B? Has she messaged you?
I pray to any power in this universe that Mel B has not seen my Snatch game.
What about Eddie Murphy? Has he messaged?
Oh yeah, no, Eddie Murphy slipped into my DMs and was like, "Do you want to make a baby with me?" That happened.
No, it's like for me even like I originally went in there with Katie Price and Amy Childs. So when we did episode 4 with the TV presenting challenge, I was after that I was like, well, oh okay, I can't say that word. Sorry.
Let's not make it a first time.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
I was like, oh god, what am I gonna do for Snatch Game now? So then I was like trying to just whip some up, and that's why I quickly pulled together Louis Spence in the moment. But then like we had the breaks and I thought, okay, I'm gonna have to really make Louis Spence work. But originally I remember I was gonna do Kay Price, and I think Bimini, you was gonna do Ab Fab, right?
I was gonna do Jennifer Saunders,
yeah. So yeah, it's crazy that it ended up completely doing different things. Everyone kind of I think judged it last minute. Because I remember prior to the show, Tace had got the most crazy outfit for Grace Jones. Like we'd got such a look together for that as well, and then on the day she did Jane Turner.
And I was like, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, he was like, no, I'm not going to do it. He was like, Jane Turner.
It didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. You got to go with your gut. You know what I mean?
Totally. I would. Basically, my phone got about 15 notifications on at the same time and temporarily left the app, so that was a little bit terrifying.
Is it Grindr again?
Oh yeah, I don't, you know. It's been a long pandemic. I would say yet again a jumping question because I really quite like how these go. If you had the opportunity to redo one look from Drag Race, what would it be and why?
I think you know my answer.
Is that the Brillo pad one?
Oh, honey, the one and only.
I mean, like,
no.
Did you all think your biggest competition was going to be, and did that change during the series?
The overhead lighting, and it never changed.
No!
I would say mine was Astina.
Astina.
Because I knew she was going to dance the house down.
Boots.
If it came to it.
We got this one from Snazzy Tay. If you were to have a celebrity Drag Race UK, who would you want to see walk down the runway?
Oh, Riley.
Sophie Ellis Bextor.
Oh, we got multiple there.
Charity Shop Sue.
Joe, I think you said something there as well.
I said Sophie Ellis Bextor.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know why. I'm really fascinated by her, and I can't quite put my finger on it. But like online, she's just such a mum. It's just so not my thing, but for some reason I'm obsessed with her, and I've got notifications
We know.
on. I know I've got notifications on for her on Instagram, so that every time she posts a story, and it's just her kids talking about slow cookers and stuff.
Oh my god!
I mean, I would absolutely love there to either be a fashion challenge with Pamela Anderson there.
Oh my God,
or
yes.
there to be a Doctor Who challenge with Billie Piper as the guest
Oh
judge.
my
Yes.
god.
That would be
100%.
my two dreams with Drag Race UK.
Do you know who'd be really good? If it was like, you know, the American Celebrity Drag Race. See if there was a UK one. Like Catherine Tate would be really good.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
like,
Lorraine
you know, her
Kelly.
physicality as Nan. That'd be really funny in like drag.
Yeah.
Get
Catherine
Lorraine
Tate
Kelly
on
on
Snatch
Drag
Game
Race.
would have been really good.
Who?
Were there
Catherine
any
Tate on Snatch.
Oh god,
What-
yeah.
Were there any sort of like challenges you wish that you did? Because I guess you have like a few weeks.
Makeover challenge. Makeover challenge.
Yeah.
So annoying we
Yeah.
never got to do one because of COVID, but who knows?
Oh, I see. Of course, that makes sense. I hadn't thought about it in that way.
Yeah.
Bang bong, sing sing song. We were
It's
like,
not real.
all right,
It's just Simlish.
yeah, we thought it was just meant to kind of be there as like a signal of like, right, this is the chorus.
Yeah, I was like, that's the melody. That I was like, they're not going to have us singing Bing Bang Bong,
Yeah.
Sing Sang
It's like
Song,
ding dang dong.
I was like,
Hun.
that's the melody they've given us, and we've got to come up with something for it. So I rewrote a hook, a chorus, of all the like different verses. I wrote the whole song,
Mm.
the theme tune.
I really misunderstood the example one because there was I don't know if everyone remembers, there was one bit where it just goes la 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 la.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I thought that I had to write words that matched
Yeah.
that.
Uh.
Like
It was yeah. What was it? It was like la 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 la
Yeah.
la la.
Yeah.
And then there was like a breaking point. It was like,
Yes, yes, it was.
And that's how a horror was born.
and that, yeah, that's when I was like, okay, let's get out this repertoire of moans and noises.
Ahura said, "I'm really gonna rhyme everything with A." More.
Stora. Mora.
Shakespeare
Laura.
could never.
Lyrical genius. That's what I am, a lyrical
The
genius.
horror, the Timberland of drag.
I mean, did anyone see Nicola from Bridgerton do the dramatic Shakespeare reading? of my
Nicola
verse?
from Bridgerton is here.
Yeah, she's here.
Ah, Nicola!
So, Nicola, if you are listening to this, we've sent you a link. So do check your DMs, and we'll see if you can actually join us. If you want to, of course. We're not gonna, this is completely up to you.
No pressure.
We're
The
not
invoice
forcing
will
you.
be in your email.
Yes, it will be in there. This is very exciting in terms of just bringing somebody in. We've got another question from It's Just Barbs aimed at Tia. Do you still stand by your phrase that East London Queens canny entertain a crowd?
Oh my god.
Is this from Bob?
The
That's
goal.
Barb's
The
just sat in the
nerve.
other room. Barb's just sat in the other room.
I just literally,
I live in.
I'm-
Bob's.
I mean, sometimes on the show, things are said to be mildly entertaining, but absolutely not. I mean, I regularly East London for the entertainment of the performances, and if anything has been proved. Very
Not
clearly.
improved.
Tia, I've just checked on Amazon Prime. I think you can get a shovel to arrive by 10 o'clock today.
But the time where-
Yeah, Tia, do you want to mention any bikinis and me again?
I'm still yet to be entertained
Oh
in
my
Clapham.
god! Well, pop round. I'll show you some entertainment.
Oh,
Oh, I've seen
darling.
you. I've been there, but I've just still yet to be entertained.
I hate this.
Girls are fighting!
It's a joke.
Oh my god!
Not a fact.
Oh, sorry. I got too excited by that. In fact, are there any quotes from the series that have followed you? Because I know that some are quite obvious, but there are some that might have just been picked up that people reference you all the time.
You get in the Thames.
I mean, everyone references
Oh my God.
a lot of my quotes, but a lot of them aren't PG, so I can't repeat them in public.
My favorite is what is it? I need to get it right. It's was it worth it? Because you never got a badge.
Oh my god, see, this is the thing. Everyone, me and Ellie are friends, and everyone's like, you both hate each other. And I'm like, no, we're able to make fun of that now, but oh my God, that was so funny. Watching that back, and it was like, yeah, well, you didn't get a badge, so was it worth it? I was like, why, Lawrence? Why?
I mean, I get ones that are like either beep beep beep, you never say it, or it's just usually a man driving past in a car going, "You were robbed."
I get boozy old cow.
Anyone want a Q&A with me, pop over to my Instagram and butt.
And what's
What?
going on?
Oh, nothing.
This is
Nothing.
I think Bimini's having a
Yeah, but-
business meeting.
Absolutely nothing else.
He
going
said,
on.
I'll have
Other
you, I'll
social
have you
media
for 10
platforms
minutes.
are available, but like, you know. Oh no, it's
I've
fun.
had people have written gender bender system offender, got that tattooed on them, which I think is incredible.
That's kind.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
that's
also
amazing.
pictures of pictures of my runways. People have had tattooed on them, which I think is mental.
But it's also like, what's that full quote again? Because it's a long one to get tattooed. Where would you get it tattooed?
Well, no, not the entire verse. I think just gender bender system offender. But I mean, some people have had like biblical verses written on them, so I think why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Release the beast,
Well-
the whole thing. Get it?
Well,
Why not?
any biblical verse always starts with "release the beast."
Bimini.
I've seen Release the Beast on many OnlyFans accounts, so I'm not gonna lie.
Other social
Oh,
media
my-
accounts are available.
And they're all hers. Yeah.
This is to everyone. Yet again, feel free to jump in. What advice, having been through the whole experience, what advice would you give somebody who is thinking about entering a hypothetical future season of Drag Race UK?
Don't do it.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Anxiety, don't
Wait
do
till
it.
a pandemic is over because you'll get no opportunity otherwise. You'll be sat at home during the finale on your own with a pine, literally. So it's not worth it. Hang on.
I mean, that is
What's a hypothetical Drag Race?
What? So no, I always love throwing the word hypothetical in for no reason, to be honest.
Right.
Scott just doesn't want to give away that the show is going to go on forever and ever and ever.
I mean, in all seriousness, no, know yourself before going in. Don't apply for the show unless you feel 110% know yourself, know your craft, and know your worth. And then going in, just be the most confident 110% person you can be. And if you don't feel like you are, don't do it.
I also think it's very important to mention you really need to have strong support around you and a very good mindset in terms of your mental health and knowing how to control yourself and how to handle your own mind.
Yeah.
And
It's
you
a
are
pressure
going
cooker
to
waiting.
yeah, every name under the sun thrown at you. So you really need to be prepared to be able to know how to take that. You know, that I think that's really important, just to be mentally strong.
You just got to have a PMA.
Yeah, exactly.
What's a PMA? Let's do the PG version.
Positive mental attitude.
Oh, okay,
Get fucked.
Get away.
Oh, sorry.
You're watching the BBC.
BC.
Yeah, and emphasize apologies again. And my word, we're not gonna do that again.
Absolutely.
So it really has been a gift. I genuinely don't.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It really has been a gift. I genuinely don't.
Okay, brilliant.
On that note,
Just to say to Nicola Coughlan, we are trying to add you to this group, by the way.
Porn account.
Oh my God.
Pictures of my runways. People have had tattoos.
I always love throwing the word hypothetical.
110% know 100.
Around you and a sun thrown at you, so you really need to be prepared to be able to know how to take that. You know, that I think that's really important, just to be mentally strong.
You just got to have a PMA.
Yeah, exactly.
What's a PMA? Let's do the PG version.
Is it
Positive
suitable?
mental attitude.
Oh, okay,
Get
good.
fucked.
Get away.
Oh, sorry. What?
You're watching the BBC.
BC.
Yes, and emphasise apologies again. And my word, yeah, no, we're not gonna do that again. We're gonna.
To be fair, I've been looking through half the folk are here. They're all porn accounts.
Oh my god, Ellie! Oh my god!
They are.
Ellie's like, know them. Yeah, seen
Jeez
them.
Louise.
Know them. That's my pal.
Oh,
Know
Glory
them.
Hole 22. Yeah,
Oh,
I know
there is
the
quite a
name.
few familiar faces in you actually, and some hotties too. Hello. Oh.
What a way.
Just to repeat that
Coming to my space.
okay, brilliant.
On that note,
Just to say to Nicola Coughlan, we are trying to add you to this group, by the way. Because apparently she's ready and waiting. So we're gonna
She's
maybe.
on season 2.
Well, I mean that. Yeah, I know, right? That might.
She is going to be on season 2 of Bridgerton, though.
Oh, period.
Yeah, so she might come in at any moment. Well, so I just had somebody message me saying, "Bear with." So at least, I guess it also must be quite surreal in terms of like having the show, airing at a time when we all can't see each other. But I also think that there's something about it being so uplifting at a time when we really need it most. I mean, that sort of positivity that's really given everybody. I mean, this is a general point rather than a question, but I think that general positivity has given something when we really needed it, when we've all had a really difficult winter. Is this something that you thought when this has been on?
I mean, I think it's very, like, I can happily say, like, although we haven't had the full experience of what we wanted from it, with it being a pandemic and stuff and lockdown, I feel so glad in that I know everybody else got what they wanted, like, as a viewer. We brought so many people happiness and joy in such a dark time, and people were at home, and like, to know that that's probably saved so many people is already a prize on its own for us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it really has been a gift. And I genuinely don't think, I mean, you look at the response to like season 1 girls, for instance, and I think, that was at a time when, life was normal. And I think the reason we've all had such a big reaction and so many people have responded and been so like, in tune with us and so interactive is because everyone has been at home watching the show, which I think would have never have happened if, life was normal. So
It feels
it's worked in our favour,
It feels more personal as well. Like,
yeah,
you'll sit at home, and since you're not at a show, since you're not doing gigs, since you're not like going about being busy doing things X, Y, and Z, packing up a suitcase, you're able to like go through your messages and speak to the people that have like messaged you, be like, "I loved you in tonight's episode. Thought you were amazing," and replying like it's more personal with this season.
See, for me, something that was a really cool thing to think about is normally, like Bagga last year, it was gigs, constantly working, and that was the kind of Drag Race run. But it was cool doing things in a kind of different way, like, brand things or cameos or things on Instagram Live. It just made it like I have a YouTube channel and stuff. It makes it more. It's more genuine and more close to the people who are actually watching it. In my
more intimate,
especially in an environment where we're so far away. Socially we can't even hug each other. So
I think
really
we're lucky. We're lucky we've had these like platforms that we can do that on. But I am so ready to get out there again because
you are telling me
so much. God. I need an energy from an audience to kind of really get that full potential.
Well, at least yous have got the tour. we ain't invited on that one.
Someone mute her. We are going to New Zealand together, lady.
Oh yeah, us UKD girls have got some stuff coming out of camp, but yeah.
I mean, I think we've only got really a couple of minutes left, so I'm just going to emphasise this, not to directly plug, but ideally tease. I mean, what have you all got planned for the future, and anything that you can share with us? And this is from David McKay.
I'm happy to start because I've got to head off to one of mine in a minute.
Go on.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm now the new host for Towie, which has been great, and I do that every Monday, so I'm doing it in like the next half an hour. And then I'm actually going to Colombia in a few weeks to film a very exciting TV show for a month, so I'm very excited for that. So yeah, and then like, you know, me and Boona got to walk in Fashion Week, which was such a dream for both of us.
Yeah.
His life's been great, you know, and we've got the United Kingdom Dolls tour, which is sold out. And we're going to not Colombia, we're going to New Zealand and Canada with that as well. So yeah, it's been amazing. That's me over and out anyway. Peace.
Well, I became a gin tycoon.
Yes.
Very briefly, because it's sold out. And then I'm touring in September as well as like other gigs and stuff. I'm nearly up to that, but doing a big UK tour in September of just me and a piano and my
lovely,
accordion,
jubbly.
having a chaotic cabaret time.
Anyone else?
I've got lots of exciting things to come up. So I'm excited. I'll be dropping my solo tour as well, which is going to be in October. And I'm going to be taking that around theatres around the UK. But also, I've got a book coming out, which will be announced very soon, and music as well. So I'm dropping my debut single in a couple of weeks.
Yes. I've also got some music coming very soon. I am the new Pat McGrath muse, so I've got some lovely bits coming out with her. I've got just putting together now a one-woman show just for one night, but I'm putting a lot of planning into it. Lots of dancers, sets, outfits. We're just going to be one night thing. So yeah, be ready, baby.
Oh, we have the Teora tour as well, don't we, Taste, in October?
Oh yes, and we got some UKD tour, and there's all sorts going on. So you'll be seeing us everywhere: magazines, fashion, music videos, the lot.
But I am really excited because I've got not only do I have a WoW Present show to film, I have lots of other TV shows that I'm working on right now. Like Bimini, me and Bimini are book writing just now, so I am working on a book as well.
Love.
And a lot more YouTube content. So again, I want to be everywhere. I want to be spread everywhere.
Like syphilis.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And on that note, I just want to say thank you so much for everyone for participating in this. Joe Black, Tia Coffey, Ellie Diamond, Ahura, Taste, Bimini, and Lawrence Cheney. Also, just a special love to all of the queens, including those who can't join us today, especially Cherry Valentine, who's working today with the NHS.
Yes,
love you, Cherry.
We all love you so much. Thank you for following on Ask the Queens UK. I'm Scotty GB, and apologies for the swears, and also apologies to Nicola Coughlan. We tried to get you in, we couldn't. It was purely due to technical difficulties. Don't think that this is not us inviting you to the party. Thank you so much for enjoying this lovely Twitter Spaces experiment.
Thank you, everyone.
This is really fun. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you later.
We love you.
And while Twitter's here, can we all get verified, please? Thank you.
Oh, well, that email's in. Right, see you later.
Bye.